So when the entire indoctrination system is tailored around how girls learn, upending that system tends to give boys an advantage again. And yet they're going to view that as a bad thing instead of a good thing. It figures. Boys jumped massively ahead of girls in maths and science during the pandemic. So boys have raced far ahead of girls in maths and science ability since the pandemic, new research shows. Yeah, that's because the new way of doing things favors boys compared to the old way, which favored girls. And while previously the two sexes were neck and neck on the subjects, a report from University College London found that boys are now taking a large lead. Researchers said low confidence could be among the factors affecting girls, as data shows those who believe in their own ability are likely to score higher. Look, you either know it or you don't. And you realize that unless you're doing like theoretical or R&D type maths, all math is following directions. That's it. You're not doing any sort of theoretical particle physics experiments there. You have a problem that has a set start and a set solution, and all you need to do is follow the directions you learned in class to get from start to finish. That's it. It's literally just following directions. That's way too hard for Whammons to do, though, apparently. And apparently they need to feel confident in their ability to follow directions or they can't. It comes amid concerns that many capable girls are not choosing maths and science because of gender stereotyping on these subjects. How long is this myth going to persist? They will never let this die. So research published in partnership with the Department of Indoctrination. Oh, Department for Indoctrination. Okay, it must be different. Compared performance in current year -6 to current year -2. It examined overall test scores by pupils aged 13 to 14 across 267 schools, part of the trends in international mathematics and science study. In maths, boys scored 538 in current year -2, 26 points ahead of girls who scored 512. Dumbasses. This compares with 516 for boys in current year -6, and only 2 points ahead of girls who scored 514. And that's while the system was rigged in their favor. They still could barely catch up. They could do anything a man could do, though. But in heels and pregnant, although I don't know how that would affect their math ability, but that's what they say. Meanwhile, in science, boys scored 538 in current year -2, 14 points ahead of girls. In current year -6, boys scored only 515, which is 3 points behind the girls. And all you had to do was disrupt the existing system, and the boys got smarter. See, the girls actually improved as well. They went from 518 to 524, but the boys improved faster. So Dr. Jenny Golding, the study's co-principal investigator, said over the last 20 years, boys and girls have achieved similar scores in TIMSS in both mathematics and science. But it's difficult to say exactly why this gap has opened up. Our findings point to some factor, including confidence, a sense of belonging, and absenteeism. So the reason girls can't do hard science is because of all this emotional soft science shit. Yeah, checks out. However, more research is needed to understand the reasons fully. The report said across all attitudinal factors, people's confidence, their ability was the most strongly associated with performance. Pupils who were very confident in mathematics scored over 100 scale points higher on average compared to their peers who were not confident. The study also looked at the scores from around the world, found maths gender gap in England was the largest of all countries. However, there's also gaps in Australia and New Zealand and the United States. Tanya Tracy of the charity Girls Are Investors. Is that why all the corpos are failing nowadays? Because this is the investors they're appeasing? Which encourages girls into the finance sector, said many have a fear of failure and lack of confidence. Man, I'm sure all of you listening, I'm sure you understand the grift here, right? So the finance system doesn't work unless it has a steady supply of greater fools to keep getting suckered out of their money. So now you got all the rich elites running out of suckers. I know what we can do. Let's get all the girls investing. And then they'll even take the money of their husbands and boyfriends who are too smart to give it to us, and they'll be our proxy. She told the big black cock, part of the job is knowing who won't get it right all the time. It's a surprise to many girls. Oh, no, knowing you won't. Okay, get it right all the time. That makes sense. I was just being a boomer. They always think they have to be perfect, even though they're not. The TIMS study uses a special scale, which is distinct from other tests. Cubans most countries scoring between 400 and 600. Schools Minister Catherine McKinnell said the support reinforces the baked-in inequalities remain in our indoctrination system. So you got two breeds of dogs. You got a Mastiff and a Chihuahua. The Chihuahuas always end up being way smaller than the Mastiffs. That means we got baked-in inequalities in dog food. If only the dog food was modified and loaded full of chemicals and genetically engineered stuff designed to make Chihuahuas grow bigger, we could fix the problem. That's why we'll continue to promote STEM subjects, especially among girls, through a range of initiatives. While the East just hires talented people and just overtakes us constantly. Through a range of initiatives, and more broadly, we've launched independent expert-led curriculum. Oh, that's the scariest part. The same experts that we should have trusted during the pandemic. An assessment review to look at how to make sure all students leave cutting-edge school experience and an excellent foundation in maths, no matter their backgrounds. Well, why are you intentionally holding the boys back? Is it because you're admitting the girls will never reach those heights? Because if you want to, technically, I think boys and girls should be separated in education. Like, they can have some classes together, they can have lunch together, but boys and girls prefer learning in different ways. So they should be taking their practical classes separately. But they're never going to do that.